a single slide. Then comes the actual part, how we are anticipating the key indices to behave, both Nifty and the banking index. Stocks to watch, sectors to focus on is something that we're going to cover in next 20 minutes. Post the presentation, a quick feedback, and then the Q&A session in case if you wish to ask any questions related to any particular sector, any particular theme, wherein you are already invested or you are planning to invest, definitely we can take those queries during the Q&A. We refrain from stock-specific queries because individual stocks, the list could be endless, and we plan to end this webinar in next 30 minutes so that you maximize the utilization of your time for preparing, for the next week, right? So, आप सभी का स्वागत है हमारे वीकली वेबिनार में, और इस वेबिनार का बेसिकली पर्पस ये है कि आप नेक्स्ट वीक के लिए तैयार हो जाएं। मार्केट में कैसे पोजीशनिंग करना है, खासतौर से निफ्टी, बैंकिंग इंडेक्स, जो दो किंग इंडेक्स होते हैं आपके, उनकी पोजीशनिंग कैसी रहेगी, कौन से सेक्टर्स पे फोकस करें, कौन से स्टॉक्स आपको अपने वॉच लिस्ट में रखने चाहिए, इस सब चीज़ों पे हम बात करेंगे नेक्स्ट 20 मिनट में। उसके बाद जो कोई सवाल अगर आपका रहता है किसी सेक्टर से रिलेटेड, कोई थीम से रिलेटेड, तो आप पूछ सकते हैं Q&A के सेशन में, राइट? सो लेट्स स्टार्ट नाउ. A disclaimer first that the idea behind this webinar is to share the information based on the recent price action, but it's not a trading or an investment recommendation. So before you make any decision based on the information shared, please check with your financial advisor. तो ये कोई भी ट्रेडिंग और इन्वेस्टमेंट रिकमेंडेशन नहीं है जो भी हम बात करने वाले हैं, तो उससे इंफॉर्मेशन यूज करने से पहले अपने वित्तीय सलाहकार से जरूर आप बात करें। तो ये है पोजीशनिंग. दिस इज हाउ द मार्केट panned out during the week. As you can see, the last week was roughly around 1.5% kind of a cut. So majority of the losses is something that Nifty could bear. Both Nifty and Sensex up by over 1%. Only IT among the key sectors which ended in the red. Otherwise, metal, auto, energy, financials and banking, they all posted decent gains. On the gainers list, as you can see, that a couple of names from the auto basket, M&M and iShares. Then we have Bajaj Finance, Tata Steel and Hindalco, means 2 names from the auto space and 2 from the metal basket. On the losing side, we have 3 names from the IT pack. So that shows why the IT index is in red. So HCL Tech, Infosys and Wipro. Then we have Cipla and SDFC Life also, which shed roughly around 1.5% to 2%. तो ये पूरे वीक का लोखा जोखा कि किस तरीके से मार्केट की परफॉर्मेंस रही, तो ठीक ठाक परफॉर्मेंस कहेंगे, बिकॉज लास्ट वीक अगर आपको याद होगा तो करीब करीब 2% के कट थे, तो करीब उसका आधा हमने कवर कर लिया इस हफ्ते में, और केवल आईटी के अलावा बाकी सभी सेक्टरों ने पार्टिसिपेट किया, जहाँ पे कि मेटल और ऑटो खासतौर से इनमें काफी ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग सर्ज देखने को मिला, करीब 5.5% से ऊपर का। गेनर्स लूजर्स भी उसी तरीके का मूड रिफ्लेक्ट कर रहे हैं। मींस आईटी में जो पनिशमेंट थी वो एचसीएल टेक, विप्रो, इन्फोसिस, इन सब नाम की वजह से था। नाउ कमिंग टू द क्रिटिकल पार्ट, how we are positioned for the next week. So last week, we were trading around this area, closer to the previous swing low around 24,350. So what we discussed, I'll just recap in just 30 seconds that this red line, 200 days of exponential moving average, and this area 24 to 50 to 350 was the support zone for us, right? Nifty didn't even touch this previous swing low. It made a low around 24,400 and rebounded thereafter, right? So what this shows is that it's not that bulls are completely out of game, right? So it's still a consolidation phase. It's still not a bearish phase for the market. At the same time, upside is capped because if you see this high close to 125,250, then around 25,150, and this time around 25,000. So it's a kind of like, a triangle consolidation in making. At the same time, we are trying to hold, or we are hovering around the medium to short term moving averages. As of now, I would say that the consolidation which we are seeing in the index is comparatively positively aligned. Why I'm saying this? Because whenever we slip below 100 EMA, we in a day or two reclaim that level and try to inch higher. So this shows that yes, the momentum is missing, means this yellow line indicates momentum, right? So as long as we were holding about 20 EMA, the yellow line, everything was good. The moment we slipped below this mark, the tone changed from positive to sideways. How we are positioned for the next week? So we feel that this area 25,000, 25,250 will be the area of resistance for the index for two key reasons. The sectors which hold considerable weight or the maximum weight in the index, banking and IT, both are on the back foot. Right? So that's why we are not targeting much upside in the coming weeks. 25,000, 25,250 will be the zone. Of course, in case if any major positive comes, then probably we can think about testing this trend line around 25,400, which seems unlikely though. But as of now, this is the upside. Downside, the previous swing low, the recent swing low at 24,400, that will be the first area of support, and then around 24,100 mark. So which is somewhere around here. Why not 200? Because 200 is almost, this long-term moving average is almost now very close to the previous swing low. So this is something that we have anyways addressed, that this zone is basically the support zone, means 300 to 400 is now the immediate support zone, but the major is going to be around 24,100. So consolidation to continue with the bias slightly on the positive side until we break this 24,400 mark. Hope it's clear. देखिए निफ्टी में अभी कहने के लिए तो कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, मींस 2 वीक ऊपर, 1 वीक नीचे, फिर इस एक हफ्ते ऊपर. इस हफ्ते में जो हुआ है, हो क्या रहा है कि जो आपके हाईज बन रहे हैं वो नीचे नीचे के बन रहे हैं, मींस हर हफ्ते एक नया हाई जो बनता है वो पिछले हाई से नीचे का होता है, बट जो लोज भी बन रहे हैं वो भी ऊपर के बन रहे हैं. तो इसका एक मतलब क्या होता है? बेसिकली इसका मतलब ये होता है कि बुल्स और बेयर्स दोनों ही लगे हुए हैं कि भाई उसको नीचे करना है, उसको ऊपर करना है. दोनों में से कोई भी अभी सक्सेस नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, राइट? तो सक्सेस कब होगा? जब 25,200 के ऊपर निकल जाएंगे या 24,300 के नीचे स्लिप कर जाएंगे, तब जाके एक आदमी दूसरा सक्सेस हो पाएगा. अदरवाइज ये रेंज बाउंड मूव मार्केट में कंटिन्यू रहेगा. और ये क्यों हो रहा है लार्जली? क्यों? क्योंकि एक साइड पे आप देख रहे हैं कि ऑटो, मेटल्स, एफएमसीजी सारे सेक्टर्स पॉजिटिव हैं, बट बैंकिंग और आईटी जिसकी सबसे ज्यादा वेटेज है इंडेक्स में, वही साइडलाइंस में, उसमें पार्टिसिपेशन ही नहीं आ रहा. तो जब तक ये सिचुएशन रहेगी तब तक इस तरीके का रेंज बाउंड बायस मार्केट में चलता रहेगा. बट यस, कंपैरेटिवली उतना बुरा स्ट्रक्चर नहीं है. टू बी ऑनेस्ट मुझे लगता है कि पॉसिबिलिटी दोबारा से रिकवरी की जब तक 24,400 को ब्रेक नहीं करता हूँ तब तक रहेगी हायर, कि आप 25,400, 25,600 तक के लेवल्स भी मार्केट में ले जाओ, राइट? So this is about Nifty. Now let's talk about the critical focus area, the banking index. So from the last 2 weeks, we are sharing the same view, no change. This red line, long-term moving average, 53, 500, 600 zone, That's the lifeline for banking index. Until we break this mark, possibility of a rebound would remain high with 54,900. This area close to around this, where the moving average also coincides and the previous swing low, means the breakdown zone also coincides with the same zone. So 54,900 will be the first key hurdle for the index, and once we break, then probably shorts can push the market towards 56,000 levels also. In case if we break this, then this 52,700, almost 700, 900 points kind of a cut the banking might experience. So for the next week, again, same levels to keep a close eye on, 53,500, 53,600 level. देखिए 3 हफ्तों से हम एक ही चीज बात कर रहे हैं कि बैंकिंग में 53,500-600 का जो जोन है ये काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है. बहुत बार उसके पास गया, उसको ब्रेक करने की कोशिश की बट नहीं किया. अच्छी बात है. इन अ वे यही एक होप दिया हुआ है कि मार्केट में एक रिकवरी आ सकती है, एक रिबाउंड आ सकता है. ये जब लेवल पे होल्ड हो रहा है तब तक ऊपर पे करीब 56,900, जो यहाँ पे ये आपको येलो और ग्रीन लाइन दोनों एक साथ आते हुए नजर आ रही है, ये 56,900 के अराउंड का एरिया है. तो यहाँ पे जाते हुए आपको रुकता हुआ दिखेगा. ये अगर ब्रेक हो गया तो फिर 56,000 तक के लेवल्स देखने को मिल सकते हैं. सॉरी, 55,900 और फिर 54,900 और 56,000. नीचे पे 53,500 आपका सपोर्ट रहेगा. इंडिकेशंस क्या है? इंडिकेशंस ये हैं कि HDFC, ICICI काफी हद तक मुझे लगता है कि वहां पे करेक्शन ओवर हो चुकी है. अब कंसोलिडेशन होना चाहिए उनमें भी और फिर एक रिकवरी के साइन बनेंगे. तो बेसिकली जो इन्वेस्टमेंट के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू सोचते हैं प्राइवेट बैंकिंग हैवी वेट्स में से, टाइम आ गया है कि वहां पे आप एक्यूमुलेशन स्टार्ट करने की सोच सकते हैं. राइट, एक ठीक ठाक करेक्शन आ चुकी है, वहां पे आपको रीबाउंड का पोटेंशियल मिलेगा. कंसोलिडेट करते हुए कुछ टाइम जरूर निकाल सकते हैं बट ठीक ठाक लेवल है फॉर बोथ दी हैवी वेट्स. बाकी सारे नाम चाहे वो कोटक हो, एक्सिस हो, वहां पे अभी उस तरीके की स्ट्रेंथ नहीं दिख रही है. वहां पे अभी भी कंसोलिडेशन का टोन ही मैं कहूंगा. इन जो बड़े जो नाम है खासतौर से HDFC और ICICI, इन पे रिकॉर्ड हाई से एक करेक्शन आई है तो वो एक अलग अपॉर्चुनिटी है. इन दूसरों को अभी थोड़ा सा आइडेंटिफाई करना और उसमें कुछ ट्रेड करना इज गोइंग टू बी डिफिकल्ट. राइट, नेक्स्ट स्टॉक्स टू फोकस ऑन. किन स्टॉक्स पे फोकस करें? सो दिस इज कोल इंडिया and the chart itself shows tight range consolidation. means कितने टाइट रेंज में ये ट्रेड कर रहा था कितने टाइम से. ये 360 70 ऊपर वाला अगर हम केवल इस एरिया को देखें तो उससे पहले को भी अगर देख लें तो 350 से लेकर 400 पे. अब जाके कुछ डिसाइसिव प्राइस एक्शन होने की इंडिकेशन है इस वीक में, जैसे करीब 5% का गेन हुआ और ये सब अपने वीकली 100 डेज के एवरेज के पास जाके हुआ है, जो कि स्ट्रेंथ शो कर रहा है कि एक बेस बन चुका है. अब सर्च की बारी है, अब रिकवरी की बारी है. दिस स्टॉक should be on your radar for the next week for accumulation. Coal India. Next, apart from auto, FMCG, consumer durables, means the consumer facing sectors, metal as a pack looks very strong. And within the metal space, Tata Steel, National Aluminium, Hindalco, and NMDC are some of the most prominent names wherein we are seeing decisive price action. So here also in NMDC, a clear-cut consolidation range breakout with volumes, though there could be bit of marginal consolidation around 75-76 zone. But the way we are seeing that price action unfolding, I won't be surprised that in the coming months, maybe in a month or two, we might be seeing a new record high, in NMDC. तो देखिए, अगर मैं सेक्टर स्पेसिफिक बात करूं तो जो टॉप सेक्टर्स में ऑटो ने काफी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस की है, एफएमसीजी ने, कंज्यूमर ड्यूरेबल्स स्पेस के जो स्टॉक्स है उनमें काफी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस है, और एंटिसिपेट है कि वहां पे परफॉर्मेंस और स्ट्रेंथन होगी। बट मेटल एज अ पैक यहाँ पे काफी ज्यादा स्ट्रेंथ फ्रेश दिख रही है, और एंटिसिपेशन ये है कि ये कंटिन्यू रहेगी, जहाँ पे कि टाटा स्टील, नेशनल एल्युमिनियम, वेदांत, एनएमडीसी, ये कुछ एक बड़े नाम जहाँ पे कि काफी ज्यादा स्ट्रेंथ दिख रही है। आई एम श्योर दोज हु ट्रेड हाई बीटा काउंटर्स, they must be keeping a close eye on GMDC, which is trading at the record highs, a strong move today. So we have a long list, when it comes to the metal and related stocks. So NMDC is something that you should be focusing on for the next week, when it comes to the long trades. Last on the list, not everything is going up. Means there's a one sector which anyways was among the top losers also, IT. And still we are not seeing any sign of decisive reversal. And within the IT pack, some of the most prominent names like Infosys, TCS, HCL Tech, they are anyways, trading closer to the 52-week low, but persistent from the mid-cap IT basket, which remains among the top performing name. Here we have started seeing fresh weakness. So as you can see in the chart itself, attempt of recovery towards the long-term averages, but it couldn't sustain and formed a shorting pivot with sharp decline on Friday, that is today, with volumes. So this indicates a possibility of further correction in the coming week in the IT pack and particularly in persistent. देखिए, सारे सेक्टर्स में से अगर एक सेक्टर जहां पे कि लॉन्ग साइड पे पोजीशंस को नहीं देखना है, अगर आप शॉर्ट टर्म ट्रेडिंग के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देख रहे हैं तो वो है आईटी। आईटी में अभी कोई साइन नहीं है रिकवरी के, रिवर्सल के, तो आईटी को बिल्कुल आपको अवॉइड करना है लॉन्ग साइड पे। और इनफैक्ट अगर मार्केट अलाउ करती है, मार्केट अगर अपॉर्चुनिटी देती है शॉर्ट करने की, कि करेक्शन आ जाती है मार्केट में, प्रेशर आता है, तो आईटी में ही आपको अच्छी शॉर्टिंग अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल सकती है, और जिसमें से कि एक नाम आपका परसिस्टेंट का हो सकता है। रिकवरी का अटेम्प्ट हुआ, लॉन्ग टर्म एवरेजेस के पास गया बट क्रॉस नहीं कर पाया, वहां से रिवर्स हो गया, काफी शार्प डिक्लाइन विद वॉल्यूम्स, ये इंडिकेट कर रहा है कि यहाँ से प्रेशर बढ़ सकता है आने वाले वीक में। तो इसको एक शॉर्टिंग कैंडिडेट के लिस्ट में आप रख सकते हैं, अपने वॉच लिस्ट में, राइट। तो समिट अप मार्केट का कंसोलिडेशन का टोन फॉर द निफ्टी, जहां पे कि 24,400 काफी क्रिटिकल रहेगा। जब तक उसके ऊपर है तब तक रिकवरी का इंडिकेशन रहेगा, उसके नीचे जाके फिर प्रेशर। तो 24,400 को ध्यान रखना है। बैंकिंग इंडेक्स में आपको 53,600 को ध्यान रखना है। जब तक उसके ऊपर है तब तक अटेम्प्ट रहेगा रिकवरी का, अदरवाइज करेक्शन। स्टॉक स्पेसिफिक एनएमडीसी कोल इंडिया, जहां पे की पॉजिटिविटी दिखती है, एंड परसिस्टेंट वेयर वी सी दी फ्रेश वीकनेस। Okay, so this is all from the presentation part. So let's do a quick feedback poll, and then we can start the Q&A session. So कोई भी सवाल है आपका, there is a Q&A button, एक क्वेश्चन मार्क करके एक बटन होगा आपकी स्क्रीन पे, उसको प्रेस करिए, राइट योर क्वेश्चन, जो भी स्टॉक, थीम, किसी के बारे में भी आप बात करना चाहते हैं। I understand railways, defense, बीच में अभी शुगर, पेपर, इन सभी में मूव आया था. So we can definitely talk about themes which we didn't discuss during the presentation. So please fill in your feedback and then you can start posting your questions. कोई भी सवाल है आपका, लिख कर पूछ सकते हैं using that Q&A button. Okay, so we are almost done with the feedback. जिन जिन का फीडबैक हो गया, they can start posting the question using that Q&A button. जिनका नहीं हुआ है, please fill in your feedback. Okay, let's start with Q&A. All right, so first question from Mr. Rajesh Raman on NBFC and infra space. So, Mr. Rajesh, alongside with the banking names, majority of the NBFC counters were on the back foot, but of late we have started seeing a different trend. Means some of the stock from the finance basket, gold finances like Muthoot, Manappuram. Then we have Bajaj Twins, wherein we are seeing strong traction, strength. At the same time, we have a long list wherein we are not seeing performance at all. So it's a very mixed basket as of now in BFC. So stick with the performers. In case if there'll be any sustained recovery, let's say in the banking and financials, the recent performers are likely to continue their outperformance in the coming weeks and months also. So avoid averaging or adding the underperformers from the NBFC basket and continue with the top names. Infra as a space, it's a big basket. Be it cement, metals, capital goods. So capital goods mixed indication means LT at one end showing strength, ABB, cements, they all are under pressure. Cement as a basket looks upbeat. Ultratech, Grasim. In fact, some of these smaller players like Sri Digvijay also witnessed strong traction of late. JK Lakshmi. Some of these top names from the cement basket. Metals, anyways, we discussed during the presentation that it looks very positive. Means the top names like Tata Steel, General Steel, JSW Steel, Vedanta, Hindalco, NMDC. So metal is much stronger than any other vertical within the infra space. So one should plan their strategies accordingly. So Mr. Dhruv, we've talked about Nifty के लिए 24,400 and 24,100 support zone, upside 25,000, 25,250. For banking, 56,900, 54,900 and 56,000. नीचे पे 53,500, 600 and उसके बाद 52,700. Okay. Okay, Mr. Parandi, what I can understand from your query that your question on the IT companies which create products particularly for the banking space. So BSFI is definitely among the key vertical for most of the IT companies, especially the companies based out in US and Europe. In the last quarter, in fact, in the last 2 quarters, we haven't heard anything bad, in terms of uh, deal cancellation from the managements. But at the same time, the demand scenario is still not very strong. It's a kind of a mixed situation for the IT companies, particularly caters to the BSFI segment. So it all depends how the US economy is going to pan out, and that would change the scenario for the IT wages. So for IT companies specifically, keep a close watch on what's going on in US at present. Means anticipation of rate cut is there. How this tariff related situation is going to impact the US economy. These are some of the critical factors that would influence the overall trajectory for the IT companies, providing services to the US clients. So hope this answers your query. Okay. Stock specific queries, long list. So Arun Kumarji, hope my query, my response to the query related to the NBFC answers your query regarding Bajaj Twins. So they look positive and we expect the outperformance to continue. So you can continue to stay put. Thank you, Jitinderji, for the feedback. And yes, metal stocks looks positive to me. So you can definitely consider. Of course, you need to check with your financial advisor. We have shared few names. If it suits you, you can definitely invest. Okay, Mr. Rajesh Lal, has this question. GST cut was accepted in a very positive mood by the majority, despite the mood of the share market is not showing any sign. Why is it so? Please throw some light. So yes, it's true that GST cut means from 4 slabs to 2 slab, and that too majority of the item in the lower slab of 5%. And why market are not celebrating? Because market have already discounted majority of this positivity. If you remember that the announcement was during the Prime Minister's speech on August 15th. Suppose that we had the gap up opening and then followed by the surge. So in a way, it was discounted in the positivity in the market for most of the sectors, or market is still evaluating or wish to see how much it translates into business, basically. So maybe in the coming days, weeks, once we start seeing numbers around sales growing up with festive season setting in, so that might change the market move. So usually this is the scenario how it unfolds on the initial drafts or news. Market reacts, and when the actual news comes, we see profit taking. So it is quite normal. And of course, the other factor is the underperformance of the key sectors like banking and IT. Varsha ji, it's not a trading recommendation. Again, I would like to clarify on this part that I'm not sharing any trading or investment recommendation here. I'm just sharing my observation, with data, with price action. So it's completely up to you how you translate it into your trading or investments. Okay, so hope it answers your query. Okay, this the name is missing, but the query is, without IT support, can index move upside in next 2 to 3 months? See, yes, possible, because we have done it multiple times in the recent past, because if you see that IT as a pack has not done much in the last 3 years, but still market have moved up substantially. The last 1 year is almost a negative year for us. Means last year October it was a high around 26 to 77 in the Nifty, and since then we are still struggling. But IT has not been doing much from last several years, and still we were like inching higher. So yes, we can see even if the IT fails to support. Usually, what happens is that when we see all the sectors aligned, then IT also somehow contributes by saying staying sideways, not doing much, but at least not trading in the opposite direction, right? So this is how the situation has turned out so far, and we expect the same to continue uh, until we get the clarity on the US economy part. Okay, right. Stock specific queries. Okay, so two, three queries on defense names. So I'll just share that I now see that most of the defense, at least the index, if I'm not uh, sure about the stock specific, but yeah, index seems like exhausted after this decline. What it means is that the decline from the current levels seems capped now, and possibility of consolidation and reversal seems high. तो डिफेंस स्टॉक्स में अब कंसोलिडेशन हो सकता है, उसके बाद एक रिवर्सल आ सकता है. जो करेक्शन होनी थी वो मेरे हिसाब से अब कंप्लीट हो चुकी है. काफी हद तक कोई मेजर डिक्लाइन की उम्मीद नहीं है मुझे यहाँ पे. तो यस, अगर आप इन्वेस्टमेंट के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू सोच रहे हैं, तो जो बड़े नाम हैं HAL, BEL, उन सभी में आप कंसिडर कर सकते हैं एक्यूमुलेट करने का मतलब ये नहीं फ्यूचर जाके बाय कर रहे हैं और ऑप्शंस में आउट ऑफ द मनी की कॉल बाय कर रहे हैं. इट्स प्रूडेंट स्ट्रेटजी इज टू एक्यूमुलेट इन कैश मार्केट्स gradually basis your risk appetite. Okay, so this answers query, like 2-3 queries were around this, I guess. Okay. Okay, couple of queries on stock specific. So one on ITC, short term, it looks negative. So please refrain from any buying position in ITC within the FMCG basket. Marico, Britannia, Nestle, HUL. These are some of the performing names. Okay. All right. NBCC is Sorry, I guess there was some glitch, and now we are back in the action. Okay. So NBFC is done. Geofinance. Geofinance looks weak to us. Means close below 305 can further push the stock lower. For any positivity, we need a close above 318. So until we close above this mark, refrain from long positions. Okay, what is the recommended price to buy Patanjali with bonus extra? So, Rishikesh ji, if you are associated with us, you can send an email to your respective branch or business partner. They can help you out with this query. All right. Adani group of stocks. So I feel that majority of the stock from Adani group of so barring Adani ports, and it was Adani Power, I guess. Yeah, Post and Power. They are comparatively stable name. The rest of the stocks are largely trading in a very tight range with a negative bias. So refrain from any uh, long positions in any of these stocks. Reliance is definitely at a critical juncture, means 30 is a very strong base. So one can continue to stay put until we break is likely and seems okay now. Okay. Okay, so yeah, with this we have answered almost all the queries except few of the stock specific queries. So thank you everyone for joining in. Next week, same time, we'll connect again. Till then, take care. Thank you.